Now this won't be cargo pants unless we have some pockets here on the side. And I think before I do that, I think that it's a little too low, like the crotch area is too low. I'm gonna use my grab brush to pull that up because it's just making him look short. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, oops, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up. Pull that out. And I'm gonna go pull this up slightly. I'm gonna go to my character and go scope mode, and once again just pull that back in. Go. Yeah, that will show that it's a little taller. And let me see how it looks like if I render. And the pants look a little too heavy, like too baggy. So I'm gonna go to my scope mode, and I think I could push that back in. Push this back in. That. And this needs to be pulled out slightly. See, yeah, the leg is sticking out too much. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to the leg again, scope mode, and slowly just push this right back in. Okay, and I'm gonna go to my pants, go to my scope mode, inflate brush, bring down the intensity for the inflate, and just pull it out slightly. This. So the skin won't show. Same for the butt area. Alright, and let me see how it looks like again. Do a little render test from here. Okay, that's better. It doesn't look that baggy anymore. It's more of a relaxed pants, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Alright, now let's go ahead and do the pocket area, shall we? We go to our pants here, and let's go to our scope mode. We go to our masking. I have symmetry turned on as I'm doing the pants. That way it's just as I'm doing the pocket. That way it's going to be a lot easier. And actually before we mask anything out, let's go smooth out. I'm going to go smoothing brush and crank up the smoothing all the way up. And just going to smooth this area out where I know the pocket's going to be. So somewhere around this area. And I'm going to go to my masking, paint mask. And I know that the cargo pants, I want it to be from, okay, so I want it to be from, you see where the crotch is at? So I'm gonna have it from here on down, so something like that. So cargo pants, they do have pretty large pockets, right? And I know I don't want the pocket to come all the way down to the knee. It's gonna be above the knee. But anyways, let's go to our masking. What's good about our masking is we could always erase it before protruding any part of the sculpting. That. And I'm gonna have it come down like so. Like this. And hold control to unmask. Okay, and I'm gonna mask everything like this. See, hold control, unmask this out, unmask this out. Okay, so looking from that view, see how it looks like. Mask this out. And I think I want to make it slightly sharper around this area. So you don't want it round. I want to make sure it has that sharp corner, which we could do later when we were to topologize. We're going to make it a lot sharper. But right now, what we're doing is just concepting, where we are indicating where the basic shapes are. We want the basic shapes for our character to go for the pants area. Okay. Might be too low. I'm gonna go ahead and hold control and unmask this, something like that. This. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and make it slightly higher, up above like that. Let's see from afar. This is why it's so important to look at your work from afar. Make sure you got the right spot where you want things to go. So it's good to look up close, but also to look at your artwork from afar. I think that is good. So I'm gonna go Control I to invert it. And let's go to our move tool. Let's go to our set pivot to mask border. And we could go ahead and protrude this out ever so slightly, like that. Alt M to unmask it. So we got something to work with there. We go to remesh and bring the remesh voxel size down so we have more geometry to work with. I'm gonna set to 0.03 and then remesh that. Okay, now I'm gonna go to my scrape brush. This area could thin out. Make it thinner because it's way too thick. Sticking out. This area, thin that out. Also this area, I could thin this out. Using my grab brush, we're just gonna pull that in like that. Smooth it. Smooth it. I'm gonna go to my scrape brush and scrape this area out to thin that out. And smooth it. Smooth it. So I want it subtle, but I do want it to still show. Okay. Very subtle. Now we could go to our draw sharp. Could make a division here. That. And then I want to have like some kind of pocket showing around this area. The pocket sticking out. So I'm gonna go to my masking and then just mask out this area right here where we want our packet to, our flap for our pocket to just kind of hang out. I think that will look nice to have something like this. Pocket hanging out. I'm gonna go ahead and Control I to invert it. Okay, mask this area out. I'm gonna use my grab brush to just kind of pull this out ever so slightly. So maybe this part is extruded out, slightly extruded out like this, and kind of pull it down. So just thinking of the overall silhouette as I'm doing this, I think this will, on this side, having that flap will give this pants a nice silhouette. I'm gonna go mask this, sharpen this out using the scrape brush. Okay, Alt M, and we could go ahead and remesh this. And I'm gonna go to draw sharp, crank up my intensity for my draw sharp, and just carve this in. Carve that in like that. So we have an indication of like a pocket there going. Alright, and we go ahead and remesh that and smooth it. I'm gonna go ahead and bring down my intensity for my smoothing, and yeah, smooth this out. When we retopologize this, it's not gonna look so jagged around this area. We're going to have a much better good looking shape here later. Alright, but it's good to have something there. So we are in our concepting stage, indicating where things need to be. I'm gonna go to my scrape brush and scrape this area out, smooth it slightly. And could be a little too thick. I'm gonna go and scrape this. Use a scrape brush, scrape that out. Go. Don't want it to be too thick. Smooth it. There you go. That looks more realistic. Scrape that. And then maybe around this area here, we could have a different kind of pocket. So I'm gonna bring down my intensity. I'm gonna hold control, gonna pull this out, this area. Pull this out, push this in. Pull this out like that. Cool. Bring on the intensity. Yeah, we could add indication the seam right there. So if you want to do more of a straighter line, we could go to our brush settings. We could go to stroke. You could also go through your stroke, and you could turn on stabilize stroke. The higher the radius and factor, the more you're able to draw straighter lines. I'm gonna hold control and I'm gonna do this here. There you go. I think I could bring down the intensity for my draw sharp. It was a little too much. So I just want it kind of subtle. Like this. Alright. And a bit more here. Also here. Go ahead and add more shape to this. Like this. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and remesh this. I'm going to turn off my stabilized stroke. And maybe indicate a little bit of seam here. Go. Crank up my intensity. A nice seam right there. And then around the area where we have the seam. So we know we're going to have a seam here and a seam there. And around that area, we could create some folds going in different directions. And same here, we could create some seams there this is what really make things look realistic. I'm gonna go to my draw sharp, bring down intensity. And yeah. You know what, for this one, I think I'm gonna be using, let me try the draw brush here. Yeah, I think if I want it to be more subtle, the regular draw brush is going to be good for this. And just push this in. That. And also here, could add some indication of more of the folds on there. Give more of that realistic feel. So there's some like tightness going on around the area where we have our seams. And once we retopologize this and we have more resolution, these folds are going to be a lot nicer, where we're going to further redefine those. We're going to redefine those folds, make it look more believable. Same this area here. Okay, and push it in. All right, looking very nice. And let's not forget around this area. Okay, very cool. I think around the crotch area, I want to further indicate the folds there. I want to intensify them. I'm going to go to my draw sharp, carve this in. Go, carve that in. I'm going to turn off my symmetry because I do want the middle part to be asymmetrical. So definitely when you're doing the middle part, you want to keep it off the symmetry mirror. And also here, I'm gonna go add some right there, and here, push this in. All right, smooth it. I wanna further indicate the seam area around the crotch area, and pull this down like this. Okay. Now it's not gonna be a cargo pants unless we have some more seams for design. What I mean by that is something like this, where we have this design going for the seam area. I think for the stitches we're gonna use Substance Painter for that, but as far as the indication where we want the seams to go, we could definitely use our sculpting tools here. I'm gonna turn on symmetry and thinking about where it's gonna go. Let's see here. Okay, so maybe I could make it slightly above the knee. I'm gonna hold control. So I know that we have the seam right here. We already have a seam on the side there. I'm gonna go ahead and hold control. That up, and then kind of have it come around like this. Yeah, that'll be nice. Come around. That's too much. And then it's going to come down like this. That. And then we could have it go all around. We have it go all around like this. And like this. Yeah, something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just carve that in. Come all around like so. And I'm gonna go ahead and make this more angular. That. And I'm gonna go ahead and do another line coming around like this all the way, and down all the way like this, and up to where it meets up like that. All right, and that's great. Adds a little bit more to our cargo pants, and I think I want to kind of do the same thing around this area. Maybe I want to add a bit more of those somewhere around here. So I want to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. This time I'm going to maybe have it come down like this. I'm going to bring down my draw sharp, come down like this, and like that, down like that. Okay. All right, something like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead, crank up my intensity, have it come around this, and then come around that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add another line here. Yeah, I'm thinking definitely for Substance Painter, we could add stitches in the middle of this. But we'll see. Okay, great. Now we have our seams there. And with that said, we have to go back. We could go to our draw and add some slight indication of folds here and there around the area where we kind of have the seams on there. And come around. So there's a little bit of indication that it is there. There's some tightness going on around that area. And same for this part here. Push that in, push this in, so. All right. Kind of lost the line around this area, which is interesting to me. So I'm gonna go back to my draw sharp, bring it down. Go. Further indicate that. Alright, gonna go back to my draw, and yeah, some indication of folds here and there. Alright, much better. Now, of course, I think good. So we have our seam around this area. I think I'm gonna smooth this out and make the seam more in the middle like this, okay? Which is how it should be. Like that. Cool. Then could add an indication of another pocket area here. Alright, another indication of a pocket area right here. Like that. And gonna go to my draw. Gonna push this in. Go. The indication that this exists. So a little tightness going on around this area. And I think, of course, around this area, like if this is off, right, there's going to be a belt here. So we could kind of indicate that. We could go to our scope mode, Shift D, and indicate the part where we have our belt. Okay, so around this area, we're gonna go ahead and indicate the belt area here. So I'm holding control as I'm using the draw sharp brush like that, just to kind of indicate where it's at. And maybe around here, this is where we're gonna have this part where it holds onto the belt, and also around this area, right? Okay, and kind of knowing where that belt is at is going to, this is the reason why we have this kind of created. We could kind of show that on the shirt. Go to scope mode, could kind of indicate the indication of the belt area here. Yeah, or there's a little bit of shape there going that there's something bulky around this area. Okay, which is the reason why I kind of have added that there. Okay guys, and I think there's folds lacking around the butt area, so I'm gonna go think about where the seams is at and just kind of indicate the folds around that area, like so. And around here, go also around this area. There you go. Alright guys. Okay, so that is it for our pants for now. In the next video, we are going to be doing the shoe area.